Welcome. So the topic we'll be discussing in this lecture is shared pages. So basically here we'll be discussing like how a particular page can be shared between more than one process. Okay. So let us consider this scenario. Let us assume that there is a text editor. Let us assume there is a text editor. I'll call it as TE. Say this text editor needs it needs 150 KB of code space. Okay, that is this text editor. So every process will occupy some code, and also it will have some code section and data section. The actual code will go into the code section. The data that is used by that particular software, that will go into the data section. Okay. So it needs 150 KB of code space and it needs 50 KB of data space. Okay. It needs 150 KB of code space and 50 KB of data space. One software, that is a text editor. Okay. Assume that 40 processes want to access this text editor at the same time. 40 processes want to access this text editor at the same time. Then if you give each of these 40 processes an individual text editor, an individual instance of text editor, if you give each of these 40 processes an individual instance of text editor, then each process will need 200 KB of memory to hold this text editor alone, because the text editor requires 150 KB for code and 50 KB for data. So each of the process needs 200 KB. So 40 process, it needs how much memory? It needs 8000 KB. Okay. For 40 processes, we need 8000 KB, which is around 8 MB. Okay. You need 8000 KB memory. Okay. If this text editor, if a single instance of text editor is given for each process, then we need 8000 KB. Is there any other way to reduce the memory? Yes. So that can be done by using shared pages. Let us assume that this text editor is a read-only code. Okay. Let us assume that this text editor it's a read-only code. It's a read-only file, or it is also called as reentrant code. The read-only code is also called as reentrant code. That is, it won't be modified during execution. It won't be modified during execution. Especially the code part. Especially the text editor contains two parts. One is the code and the data part. The code part will not be modified during execution. The data part may modify, and different process may use different data part. In that case, what you can do, you can keep only one text editor. I mean, only one instance of text editor code space in the memory. Okay, only the text editor code space. Okay, I'm talking about code space only. You can keep only one instance of text editor code space in memory, which occupies 150 KB, and it can be shared for all the 40 process. It can be shared to all the 40 process, from process 1 to process 40. So everything they are going to share, all the 40 all the 40 process are going to use the same code space of the text editor. So we don't have separate instance of the code space part of the text editor. Only one instance that will be used by all the 40 process. Okay. But this data part which needs 50 KB, that it may vary for different process. Okay. So process 1 will have its own 50 KB. Process 2 will have its own 50 KB. Process 3 will have its own 50 KB. Like that, it's so on and so forth. And process 40, this is process 40. Process 40 will have its own 50 KB. Okay. Now how much memory is required? For the code space of the text editor was shared by all the process. So that needs only 150 KB. So 150 KB plus 50 into 40. What is 50 into 40? 50 into 40 is 2000. Okay. So now the memory requirement is 2000 plus 150, which is 2000, which is 2150 KB. Okay. But if you give individual code space and individual memory data space of the text editor for all the processes, then you need 8000 KB. So this is a good reduction in memory, right? So this can be achieved by using shared pages. So this is the overall concept, right? So let us discuss that with an. So basically, shared code in the sense one copy of read-only or re-entrant code can be shared among multiple processes. If you are not using shared code, then every process should have its own private code and data, which will occupy a lot of memory. So this is the example which just now which we have discussed. So let us assume that the text editor occupies these particular frames. Frame 3 text editor is loaded in frame 3, frame 4, and frame 6 of the main memory. Okay. And say 3 processes want to access the text editor: process 1, process 2, and process 3. Okay. So this is the particular process 1's page table. So it refers to text ed1, ed2, and ed3. So ed1 is connected to frame 3. Okay. This is page 1. Page 1 is nothing but here it is called as ed1, editor 1, which is connect to frame 3. And ed2 is connected to this is the page table which maps the page number to frame number. It is connected to frame 4. And ed3, it is mapped to frame 6. Okay. Like that in all the process also. If you say in process 2 also, ed1 refers to frame 3. Okay. ed2 refers to frame 4. ed3 refers to frame 6. Similarly in process 3 also. But they have their own data section. See the data section, process 1 data section, it is mapped to process 1's data section, it is mapped to frame 1. Okay. Process 2's data section, it is mapped to frame 7. Process 3's data section, it is mapped to frame 2. Okay. But whereas this editor 1 and editor 2, all the 3 processes are mapped to the same locations of the physical memory. Okay. So ed1 of process 1 also maps here, ed1 of process 2 also maps here, ed1 of process 3 also maps here. Similarly for ed2 and ed3. So this is how we share the pages, and the memory requirement can be greatly reduced. Okay. So that's it about shared pages. Fine. So that's it about the topic memory management strategies, where we have discussed different memory management strategies. Okay, especially we have discussed paging, segmentation, and then we have discussed before that we have discussed contiguous memory location and the problem with the contiguous memory location, like internal fragmentation, external fragmentation. To avoid external fragmentation, we discussed segmentation and paging. We also discussed swapping. Okay, so and then we have before that we have discussed various address binding techniques, right? So with that we stop discussion about this particular topic. Okay, so overall what we say in the sense, with respect to page table, the process the CPU will create a logical address, and that logical address will be first checked in the TLB. If a hit is found in the TLB, then the physical address will be generated. If the TLB is not found in the, I mean, if there is a TLB miss, then refer to the particular page table and fetch and identify the frame number, and then get the physical address using the offset and access the memory location. See, sometimes what happens in the sense, sometimes the particular page may not be available in the page table also. That is called as page table miss. Okay. So if it is available in the page table, it is called as page hit. Otherwise, sometimes if it is missing in the page table, then it should be fetched from the hard disk. Okay. Fine. So let us stop our discussion here. Thank you.